Hello guys, welcome to a new video on my channel. It's Tonton from State 948. Today we're gonna talk about Crazy Joe. I'll review kind of some of the basic stuff and kind of more advanced strategy. I waited for the event to be nearly there so we can review things a bit during the events as well. So first of all, like Crazy Joe will be very different from when you are in the early stages. So maybe you are, furnace 25, and for us we are furnace 8 and 6 and stuff, fire crystal actually. So it goes very differently because you have a different amount of power compared to Crazy Joe itself, and you have different amount of troops. So for me, I have 3.2 million troops, and many people have 2-3 million in our alliance. At least 1.5 and roughly you can take out 1 million, 1.2 million if you use some buffs, something like that. So if you have above a million troops, chances are you cannot remove all your troops from your cities, which you need to do in Crazy Joe, and we'll talk in a moment why. And if you have 1.5, 2 million, then you start to have a lot of troops left in your city. So how does it works with Crazy Joe? So you will summon him, like one of your R4s will summon him. So for us it starts in 30 minutes, and it will send 20 waves attacking city or HQ. 18 waves are for cities, and 2 waves are for HQ. So HQ is attacked wave 10 and 20. Cities are attacked wave 1 to 9 and 11 to 19, basically. Some waves are attacking everyone, even offline players, and 3 waves, wave 7, 14, and 17 are attacking people that are only online. The way it works to make points in Crazy Joe is if you successfully defend a wave, you make your city making 100% of the points, and 50% of the points are given to the defender, so yourself if that's on your city, and 50% of the points are given to people that were there to reinforce you based on the amount of kills they are doing. But the 50% points you get, it just depending on if it's a successful defense or not. If you burn, if you don't defend, you will make a lot less points, basically. So you want to defend. You don't want anyone to burn as an alliance, right? You want everyone to stay safe, and at the same time, because the defender gets 50% of points no matter what, even if he does not do any kill. So if I do not do any kill on my city, I'll get 50% of the points every wave if I defend, and the city and people reinforcing me are killing 100% of Crazy Joe's troops. So you want to send your troops to other people. That's why you want to send your matches to other people, and you want to have people reinforcing you. So you make more points because the 50% points per city that are given based on kill, you don't get them yourself. So Ugurlu does not get extra points for defending. If he kills troops, he gets 50 just by defending. So you want to get these 50 extra % points to other people. So you want to share these 50 other %. That's why you are sending troops again everywhere, and you want to reinforce. The amount of troops you need to defend successfully a city depends a lot. If you are furnace 25 to 30, it might need 200k, 300k. So basically, at this point in the game, you find 2-3 people to exchange, and you send 100k to them, and they send 100k to you. And if you have 400k, then either you send, say you have 450, 100k, so either you send, 4 or 5 people some troops, or you send 3 people 150k, something like that. And you want to have 200k. If you have T9, T11, it should be T10, sorry. Troops T9 or T10, it should be enough, and maybe you need 250, 300k, because it depends a bit on the stats of the defender, right? So the defender, you want to make sure that in your city wall, in your barricade, you have your best heroes, right? So you want to double check that. You could even tick that box to make sure they are not leaving your city at any time. So, and for us later, you need 200k to 400k for Crazy Joe to 1 to 11. Then later in the game, I think it's around Gen 3, you will get Crazy Joe to level 21 like we have right now. So for us, we need roughly 5 to 600k for most people. So you need 2 or 3 people to basically reinforce you. So if I check my farm, 2 people reinforcing, it's enough, because even my farm has a lot of troops left in the city. Then 700k on Skifney, 700k nearly on Noisy, 800, so that's too much. So I'll call back on Raiden, because that's too much. I'll send to someone else. Like, you want to basically reinforce as much people as you can, and you don't want to, because the 50% point that is given based on how many troops you killed is shared based on the amount of people. So if you have too many people in the same city, then it's probably means some people will burn, so your alliance will make less points, and these people will make less points, and they will progress slower in the game because they will have less rewards, and you might make less points because there are too many people in some cities. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll need to find 3 people to reinforce, basically. So I'm looking for people that are likely to be online, and for people that at the same time, so let's do math, for example. So people that are likely to be online, and people that do not have too many troops yet. So you want, again, to reinforce 6 people. If you have 6 marches, 5 people, whatever you can, basically based on your troop. And if you are a little, if you're early in the game, you can find people to trade troops. So the way we do it for us, we do a vote in the Alliance chat. So you can see who will be online, and you can make sure that these people are reinforced, right? But over time, you will start to know, you will start to know who is usually online for Crazy Joe. Because you get extra points for wave 7, 14 and 17, even if you cannot be actively online, it's still worth to have the game on your phone, for example. Just on, even if it's face down on your desk at work or in your pocket or whatever, having the game running, the event lasts more or less 30 minutes. So yeah. So you will make more points, and your alliance will make more points if you do have your phone on. So that's always a good thing to do. The way it works for Crazy Joe, you might have seen, I'm only sending infantries. And most people are only sending infantries. Why do you do that? The way it works basically is, for Crazy Joe, the infantries are attacking first, then the lancers are attacking, then the marksmen are attacking. So basically, if infantries are killing all the monsters, lancers are not attacking and marksmen are not attacking. And if infantry is not killing all the troops, then lancers have a shot, and lancers will likely kill all the troops. So your marksmen never attack, basically. Unless you are like in the very, very early stage, like again, you are Furnace 25, 28, something like that, then you will make use of your marksman. So, but a bit later, when you are in the Fire Crystal stage and you have too many troops to get out of your city, the priority is removing infantry first, because they will take kills from other people. So if I keep infantry in my city, the more I keep, the more points I take out of the 50% that are given for troops, for Crazy Joe troops, the troops in my city are killing, the more points I take from other people. So I want to remove all my infantry, that's my priority. If I can remove all, I want to remove all of my troops if I can. If I cannot, I want to remove all my infantry. If I don't have enough infantry to reinforce everyone, I want to take all of my infantry and all of my lancers, or most of my lancers. Basically, I want to keep marksmen in my city and lancers if I have to. And for me, I even have too many infantry, so I will keep as little amount of infantry as possible. I'll keep all lancers and all marksmen, because I have too many troops at that point in time. So you want to be online, you want to reinforce people that are online, and you want to reinforce, of course, the weaker players around the edges. So people can, even if they are offline during the day, you want to send messages to your alliance, so people are emptying their city. So they are recalling their farmers, and they are, emptying their cities, and they can just link in Alliance chat their city when it's empty. So that's an easy way to go about it. People link their city, and you can see they are reinforced, right? So you can go through, takes a bit of time, but you can see, okay, overload, overlord, reinforce. So you can see an 800k for us is a bit too much. We can do, most people can do with 4 or 5 800k, 600k is safe. But based on our activity and the amount of empty cities and stuff, then, we kind of have to be 600k plus, right? Because, I can take, to have 4 500k troops or 600k troops, I need 3-4 people to reinforce me, right? And they have 6 marches, so you can clearly see the problem. We are sending more troops than we can receive ourselves, so that's the point where it's a bit tricky. But as much as you can, reinforce online players for your personal ranking. For the alliance, you want to care about, which is what I do with my farm. I reinforce the weaker player on the outside that are usually offline and that may be burning, even if they kept all their troops in their cities, because they are kind of more casual player. They have weaker heroes, they have weak stats, so their troops will be less effective, and they don't have that much troops, so they might be burning basically. So that's kind of it. Let's see if I can reinforce side, because I kind of need to reinforce people before we start as well. In terms of heroes that you are sending, you can use the usual Jasper, Jesse, Seyung. You can use Patrick. You can use any hero that has a first expedition skill. That's either a buff for defense or a buff for offense. So Lin could be a good choice. It has a buff for offense. Philly has a buff for offense and defense. Mia, she has a buff for offense. You can use the classic Sergei Patrick. They have buff for defense. So you want to send heroes as the captain of your marches, right? So the first hero that you are sending in your marches all the time. You want to send heroes that give the buff basically. So that's kind of important. I just need to find somewhere else. Johan is usually online and he does not have anyone reinforcing him yet. So let me do Philly. She's decent. So for me, I do only infantry because I have too much. So you see, I'm sending 6 march of infantry and still have 130k left. So it's a bit too much. For wave 10, you will have to remove a march from someone, because you can only send 6 marches, right? So for wave 10, you want to reinforce one of your neighbor, which I've done with Noisy, and which I've done with Skifney, basically. When wave 9 is hitting my city, or the city I'm reinforcing, so Noisy or Skifney, basically, I want to pull back the march, and I want to send it to HQ. And to do that efficiently, you want to have you have to have the troops saved. So I need to find out which heroes I have. So I have the march with Jasser. So if I go, it's already a preset march for me. So as it is a preset march, I want to have it once more time for sending it back to his city later. And I want to have one preset march to what we send in HQ. So for us, to have in HQ, you want 15 people. So for us, with the rally capacity we have, if it's 85k per person, it's marked here. If you are not as late in the game as us, you might do 60 or 70k. So basically, to share points with everyone, you want to have divide the rally capacity of your leader by 15, because you can only send 15 people here. So you know how many troop people can send. Early days it's 50 to 70k. Now we are at 85. Some people can go to maybe 90k. Later in the game, but that's enough. You want it to be fair for HQ. So wave 10 and 20 will be at HQ, and before we will be defending our own cities and other people, and I'll kind of explain why in a moment. So that's kind of why Crazy Joe has such a strategy of reinforcing other and emptying your city as much as possible. What are the ways to make extra points is to bring farms. So we might actually have one. I see someone who joined. Maybe not. But, we have 12 space in the alliance. So if we wanted to help a bit with Crazy Joe, we could bring farms. Crazy Joe, that's one of the only events you can do it as much as you want per day. And your score will be the best score of the day. So you can do it in 10 different alliances if you want. And your ranking score for the event, individual and with the alliance, will be counted like where you do your best score, basically. So you can... some ways to make point and to cheese Crazy Joe will be to go in a farm alliance. If you want to give the first rank of the state for your rally leader, for example, so he's a bit stronger, he gets more rewards, you can send him in the farm alliance. You empty him 6 farm. So the guy is reinforcing 6 farm alone, and he's doing wave 10 to 20 alone as well in HQ. and that a whale can do that easily. Any stage of the game. So that's a way to do it, and that will give you a lot of points. The best point in Crazy Joe is reinforcing alone and defending alone an empty city, because you get 50% of the point of the city, so you get as much point as the person at the city itself, and that's clearly the best way. So you can think of strategies where you can, some states use multiple alliances for, they send 2 or 3 players in each alliances basically. The empty farms and secondary account and healing accounts and stuff, they empty all of it, so whales and bigger players can defend empty cities and make more points, and that's a way to do about it. So you can either go to a farm alliance and reinforce empty farm, or you can get the empty farm to the main alliance, and they will be able to, people will be able to defend them, and it will give you points basically. So that's one important trick about Crazy Joe. So it's starting, we are ready, we are defending 6 people. It's not a great setup. There are a lot of people reinforcing my farm, and I'm in cities that are reinforced with kind of a lot of people. So let's see how it goes. Something you want to do with Crazy Joe is nowadays you have one report. You have one report basically for all the cities, so you will be able to, we'll talk about the amount of points, of different amount of points we make, but you can see there is a big difference. So that's my city, so I'm making a lot of kills because I cannot take all my infantry out, so people reinforcing me, they are not really making points. That's why I'm using my farm to reinforce myself, so basically me and my farm, I can defend my city. But people are still reinforcing me and they make no points doing so, and that's up to them. I'm not, people play the way they want, but they don't need to. So you rarely want to reinforce your whales. You kind of want to reinforce weaker players, but you can see I'm making half of the point plus I'm stealing kills, so people are not making the other half of point. That's 3, 4, I'm stealing 2 or 3k points here, right? And if I look at other, between other cities, some of them I'm making 500k points. Sorry, not 500k, 500 points. Some of them I'm making 1.5, 1.2. So that's a big difference. So if I look at people I'm making 500 points on, they are making a lot of kills. So Joanne is having a lot of troops and a lot of infantry in his city. And that's why I'm not making points. So you see that when people have Saed as well. So I'm not sure he was online. He might not be online. And he basically has a lot of troops. So I'll swap my troops out of these 2 cities because these guys have their troops. If you look at the report, you can see that he has 700k infantry. He has all his troops inside. So Saed and Joanne, they have their troops inside, and they have 2 or 3 people reinforcing them. So they'll never burn, and I'll never make point defending them. So if you care to rank and to make point, you will need to. I do that at wave 10. So when there is kind of a breather, the wave 10 is a bit slower because you have to go to HQ and to go back from HQ. So it's kind of a slower wave, and same for wave 20. So I will use wave 10 to adjust these 2 cities to make more points for the last 10 waves, basically. So you see, Crazy Joe is attacking, and it's wave number 4. But if you look at, we look at wave number 1, but if we look at wave number 3, it's the same, right? I'm making little point on Joanne compared to Noisy, compared to Skiffney, compared to the other. So if I look at Noisy is making nearly no kills. If I look at battle detail and I look at Noisy, he has a tiny bit of infantry because he has too much. But he has he should have removed the last infantry. That's okay. That's not a big deal. But he could have done a bit better by removing this 3k, and because he removed lancers and infantries and he kept 3k infantry, which if you want to give point to people, it's better to remove the last few because he removed lancers. That means he had capacity to remove these 3k, right? So, but that's good that he has only 3k. So you see, I make a lot more points on Noisy, but I don't make crazy points, right? I make on my farm I make more points because we have less people defending and there is no infantry. So if I look at my farm, survivor, there is no infantry. It's only lancers and marksmen, right? So you see how it works with points. If infantry was not killing all, you will see lancer do kills, basically. So in that case, because I have lancers on my farm and my main account, you will see that people make less points because of that. But in our case, we are far enough. We have Crazy Joe level 21, that's generation 4 or something, and we are generation 6.5, and we are Fire Crystal 8, and you can defend Crazy Joe, with level 21 with Fire Crystal 5. So we are like further, like a lot further in the game than the difficulty of Crazy Joe. So right now it's easy for us. So you can look at the report to get an idea on which city, if you compare wave 5, where you make most points. And if you look at my city, I really do a lot of kills. Crazy Joe has 150k troops, and I killed 30k nearly, so I killed 20% of the troops. So I'm stealing 20% points to everyone. So that's a lot. So right now it's kind of a chilling until it's wave 10. We will see that wave 7 it will attack online players. So you see member online. So how do I know where to? I will need to move 2 marches, right? So I'll need to move. That's okay. Noisy is okay. So I need to move the last 2. I need to move Saed and Joanne. I need to swap. So how do I know who to reinforce? And that's something you want to monitor very early as well. If you're R4 or someone in the alliance. If you click on Crazy Joe, if you click on members, my game is lagging a bit. Sorry for that, guys. But it will come back in a minute. You can see who is online and how many troops they have. So you want to use that member thing to spot cities that are online with not many people inside. And right now there are none. There is Heimdall, but he's offline for a minute, and Heimdall usually keeps his troop in his city. And then so maybe Morpheus, Master Chief. So I can send to MH Dead and Master Chief, for example. So later I will basically go back to this screen. I'll look at troop help. I'll click on troop help, and I will be able to send a march to them, basically. So that's how you look at who is reinforced properly, and you can see everyone in the alliance, right? So if we wanted to, these are farms. We don't really, it's not a farm, but it's a casual kind of player, a bit more. They're not farms, actually. They are both kind of weaker players. So they might be burning. So that's something I can check with my farm, and I can actually, that's the kind of people I want to reinforce with my farm. And you want some people reinforcing them, so they are not burning. So you can look around and you can see, who is online, who is offline for what, and how many troops they have. But often offline people, it means they have their own troops. So at that point of the game, for us, most people don't burn. If they are Fire Crystal 6+, they have enough troops and enough stat that they are not burning. But you can monitor. And you could say, you could ping in your chat to ask to reinforce Mari or to reinforce someone or whoever. So people are actually, reinforcing people that are less reinforced to make sure they are not burning. But I don't think we have people burning for many weeks now. So we don't, And if I need to reinforce someone, I'll use my farm for it, basically. So that's kind of the basic stuff of Crazy Joe. I'll just show you wave 10. And, like when it comes to strategies and make points, it's just about reinforcing cities that don't have too many people and that are online. That's the best you can. Or cities that are empty and offline. It's better to reinforce an offline city that is not too reinforced, like my farm. I make more points here than I make in someone that is online but got their infantry in their base, for example. That's for sure. And you can test it yourself. You will see, I make half of the point on every wave. I made a quarter of the point on Saed. I made a third or quarter of the point on Saed and Joanne than I make on my farm. And my farm is shared with 2 other people right now. Usually it's only, it's not always. So overall, on even if my farm is missing 3 waves, I'll make more points on my farm than on people that kept their infantry. So you really want to reinforce empty cities and push people to reinforce empty cities. So it's basically like the points you make as an alliance is exponential, right? The more cities are empty, the more you make points defending other, just the more points you make as an alliance. So let's look. So right now, wave 8 is working. So I can see with wave 7, Noisy is online, Might is online, and Skifney is online. So it's reinforcing that two people, that Saed and Joanne, are not online right now. They don't have an empty city, they are not online. So they have all their troops plus people reinforcing. So I could have during wave 7 call my marches back, because I will have, wave 7 would not attack Joanne and Saed. It's not to finger point, guys. It's really just to take an example, and that's the example I have today. So I'm not blaming anyone for anything they've done. It's just to show how it works. So I could have during wave 7 swap Saed and Joanne to actually reinforce either some other online that need help, but there are not many, or if I reinforce someone that's offline with their troops, it's better to go reinforce these two dudes, for example. So they are not burning, so we make more points, and I probably make more points reinforcing Matt and Redeemer than I make reinforcing Joanne and Sniffney and sharing points with everybody. That's just the way it is. So we'll actually try out with you guys to show you. So I'll reinforce these guys after, during wave 10. But you want to be ready, so wave 9 is working. As soon as it is hitting Joanne, so which march is it? It's Noisy, sorry. So it's March 3 for me. As soon as it is hitting Noisy, I will recall March 3 and send to HQ. And HQ, you have a few ways to go about it. Your alliance might have their own rules. And you see people are doing the same, right? They are recalling their troops. So you see the march is going. It's hitting Noisy, so I can recall. And I want it to recall. I'll wait a minute to make sure that it attacked the other two players I'm reinforcing before I swap. So so Saed got attacked and Joanne as well. So I reinforced these two, and we said we're gonna reinforce two other players, so we will do it now. So you want to, to be quick so you get in. I should be able to get in, but you see many people are spinning up. So you might need to use, 400, 800 gems to make sure you get in. If you really care, especially if you are early days of Crazy Joe and your state, like there are a lot more people trying to join the castle. For us now, often we are 15, but barely 15. And we have to send 88 troops, so 88k troops, so you need to make sure that people get it, So we said we reinforce, but I see that he is reinforced now. He's online, active, and he's reinforced. So see, like Crazy Joe is walking in 1 minute and 20, plus there is a walking time, plus there is the next wave, so you have a bit of time. So I'll actually reinforce these two dudes and see how it goes in terms of points. I did not do that for a very long time. I mean, I did reinforce, but did not pay attention. So let's see how it goes for points. So only infantry and only infantry. So these dudes have their troops in their base, but they are kind of weaker player. So I'll actually send them good heroes as well. I'll actually send them good heroes. And we will see how it is going. I was planning to kind of stop at wave 10 because I thought the guide will be over, but I kind of want to show you the report and the difference of points it is doing. So we need to wait a bit. What did I forget to mention? So you get individual rewards, you probably know about that. So you get a lot of alliance token. That's until you get alliance token more or less when you are, that's kind of, it used to be only tokens when it was 1 to 11, and then when they added level to 21, now it gives a bit of chief gear. Personal rewards, you get a lot of chief gear, and alliance reward you get a tiny bit. Alliance ranking is not that important. It's an ego thing. It's not really. What matters is personal ranking. That's what I'm trying to optimize for personal ranking, and I'll show you around wave, 13 to 15, you start to see where you are in your alliance and if you are doing well. So Crazy Joe is walking toward the HQ. So in 1 minute, in 52 seconds, I'll pull back my troops after Crazy Joe hit, and I'll send them back to Noisy, because Noisy is, what the heck? Noisy is fully reinforced, so I'll send it to someone. I will send it to someone else. That's too much. There's no point in reinforcing him further. So I'll get someone else. After, who do I want to reinforce? I'll check. I don't want to miss Crazy Joe. That's important to recall your troop as soon as possible, because wave 11 will go fast, and ideally you don't want to miss wave 11. So Crazy Joe hits, you have the report, you recall right away. And eventually you could, if you really want to save 10 seconds, you could do that. So for me now, the game I want to play is to find someone that needs reinforcing. And I've seen Denise is very strong, Joanne. And now I need to send someone one day. It's too much. There is a chance that Nick is actually. See, so if you click on the portrait, it's not good. You need to click on the. Blue stuff here. So I need to find him again. So let's do Mari. And Mari is 21 seconds from my base, and the troops are hitting in 25 seconds, so I should be able to get to her before. No, I might not. Yeah, no, I might not. I'll be behind. So I miss wave 11 on her, so I don't know how well, it will do. But if we compare points to... So Tonton Mini is kind of my benchmark to know how well I'm doing. So Redeemer, I do 3k, so I do... Yeah. See, like, people with their troops here, they steal everything, and you do not make points. But if I don't reinforce him, I have no guarantee he might not be burning. So Matt, I'm doing decent amount of points because he's not as strong. He's weaker than Redeemer. So on Redeemer, I make no points because he's strong and he's not reinforced. So that's kind of a bummer for me, but that, that's safe, basically. That means that, we might not... his Fire Crystal is not super strong, right? But Matt is Fire Crystal 4. So Matt will burn without me reinforcing. When Redeemer, I'm not sure. He could. So I'll keep them, even if it's not perfect for me. If I really care to push, I'll go somewhere else. But that's decent. Like Mary, I'm not doing a lot as well because she has everything in her base. And when people have 7k infantry, 700k, they are T6, even if I have T9s, it's like. So today we lack a bit of activity. So people that are online, their bases are a bit overcrowded. So it's a bit that the issue at our stage is like people, there are too many marches per city and you don't know where to go to really make points. So you cannot really rank effectively. So if you go here, you start to see we rank top in the 100 soon. So as soon as you are in the top 100, or some people in your cities are in the top 100, if you do well within your alliance, and I'll show you how in a minute. So we need probably one more wave, and we'll know after wave. But I have 3 cities that are not doing well. I have 2 cities that do well, 1 that is medium, and 3 that are not doing that good. So it's not gonna be an amazing ranking for me today. So C77. So let's look So you have two ranking. You have this one, which allows you to see people and their points, right? So that's the one you want. So you go to Crazy Joe, you go to personal ranking, and then you go at the bottom. So you see, like, you can start to see my alliance. So I'm start to search for the first people of my alliance I'm seeing. And I'm 77. So Chaos is a bit above me. Sato, Farkad, they are kind of far ahead of me, but that's not too bad. Webster is decent as well. So you see I'm likely number 4 of my alliance right now. And the changes I've made on Wave 10 are not better choices. So I probably end up in the top 10 to 15 of the states. I kind of know that by now. And I probably end up top, 4 or 5 of my alliance, which is not that good. To be honest. I struggled to find empty cities because I kept some marches in my base before to have something to reinforce for the video. And Marie, someone is reinforcing, and she is 6. To be honest, she is okay. So if I wanted to swap, I will swap on wave 14 or wave 17 because I'll remove my march from an offline player to send it to someone else because they won't be attacked on wave 14 and 17. But at the end of the day, it's okay. I'm reinforcing a lot of offline players right now as well. So you see on wave 13. No, it's wave 14, so I'll see on wave 14, but I might not make a lot of points in these ways as well because many offline player I'm reinforcing. So that's, double punishments. I reinforce offline player with troop in their city, plus on top they are not online. So I don't get wave on 3 wave out of 20, plus I don't make a lot of points. So that's really, but you kind of have to do it, right, for your alliance. You have to make sure people are not burning as well. So it can't always be the same that reinforcing weaker player to prevent them to burn and people that reinforcing good city to make points, right? It's kind of I often rank well. That's okay as well. So that's a bit of a slower wave. And if you look, see like all the cities are full. Azaghal could use maybe one more, but he will be okay. But to make points, it could be an okay city. He's removing his infantry usually. Morpheus, I'm not sure. Not always removing everything, I believe. So you kind of know people, right, from your city. So people brought a farm, but you see you can only send 83k. So if you reinforce farm, you want them to have, I forgot if it's 20, 22, 23, so they have a capacity of, 200k troops or something, so you can fully reinforce them. R1 tends to be offline as well, is my neighbor, so I don't reinforce. Denise is, has too many troops as well, is fine. So there are not good options to reinforce, right? Unless some of these offline people have no troops in their cities, but you cannot know. There is no way for us to know. You'll have to scout from outside of the alliance to know, so which might be a bit scary for people. So I think that's it for the guides. You cannot save that report for next time, which will be handy to keep them if you could save them. Because you will know who to reinforce over time. You can have a track record of who to reinforce over time. You might want to take note of that in a little spreadsheet or somewhere on a paper, so you know basically where to make points. You can have agreements with neighbors. You can find 4 or 5 players that you just exchange troops and you do your things. Yeah. I think it's gonna drag for 10 minutes more, so I'll cut the video here. I think you got enough information. If you have any question, then please go into the comment. I'll just follow up on questions. And if there is anything to re-record the video with this question, I'll do it next in 2 weeks again. But that should be okay. We will be number 2 or 3. Again, does not really matter to be number 1. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I see you maybe tomorrow. If not, I see you for a live stream on Saturday morning. I'll live stream burning cities of the opponent states, which is a easy win on battle on prep phase. Sorry, so it's a compared to us, it's a dead state, which might not be that dead, but they are not that active at least. So yeah, so they are not even a million point, which at this point for me it's a dead state, but that's me, judging whatever. That's up to them, to decide for themselves what kind of state they are. But we are not pushing. We are going gentle, and we are still crushing it. So we will attack their castle, try to steal their castle. They're hiding their gear right now. We don't really manage to get the gear of their whale, so we are not sure how easy or how hard it will be to win. It's probably a tough battle, but prep phase is in the pocket. Again, talk to you tomorrow or Saturday for the live stream. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing the channel. A lot of new people joined recently, so welcome everyone, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.